So friends, this panel discussion is basically fostering SME growth through the digital transformation, and we have eminent speakers over here today. So I'll start with this panel. I'll request Mr. Prasanjit Sengupta, Partner Consulting, Ernst & Young LLP, to guide you to speak on these advantages and technology for the empowering MSMEs for their sustainable growth. Over to Mr. Sengupta, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. So just by way of a small introduction, I'm a partner at Ernst & Young, and I look after the tech consulting piece. And from the focus area, I am actually looking at how do we create a practice and on Industry 4.0, enabling manufacturing organizations and industries to take the path on the automation journey. And I am very thankful to Shri Chandrakant Salunke ji, to the SME Chamber of India for giving me this opportunity today to present our point of view, what we are doing, and what we think are the future course of direction for SMEs and also all organizations by and large. So I think we have heard people talk about pandemic, and I am also talking about the pandemic because that has actually been a huge leverage point for all of us. In fact, I recollect at that point in time in March 2020, and at that point in time I was the Chief Digital Officer at Thermax, and as part of the Executive Council discussion, it was I think early March, and people were already talking about this virus spreading around. We were already talking about the imminent closure, and we were wondering that how are we going to continue our operations. We were already in March, and we were also supposed to close our financial systems. How are we going to close our P&Ls, take out our balance sheets? And since we were heavily into manufacturing and operations, we thought that this cannot be done from home. We were all completely organized into working in person, having conversations face to face, really working at the sites. This entire viewpoint that some business transaction can actually happen when you are not in the factory, you are not in the office, was completely alien. However, I think over the months as we saw, organizations evolved because life did not stop. Also, we saw that even during the pandemic, different countries, different geographies, different industries were at different levels of working either on-site or off-site. There were instruments, there were equipments that had to be serviced. I mean, there were deals which were going on. And that is where it also struck everybody that technology and automation is no longer important. It is actually really a must-have topic for us to continue our business operations without disruption. And I think that is why pandemic is being talked about as an inflection point, because that really set everybody thinking across the levels of organizations of how to enable technology, not just for the sake of doing it, but actually to ensure that the business does not suffer. This slide just talks about few numbers. I will not get into the details, but what I can tell you is by and large, every area that we go, every segment that we touch, every survey that we see, a majority of the stakeholders, whether it is the CXO level, whether it is the owners of the organizations who are running, whether it is the employees who are operating in the companies, everybody feels that technology, automation, digitalization is actually the most important thing that they are going to invest in, they are going to learn, and that is going to really make the difference as we move forward in the economy. In fact, what we also saw is in the last 5-6 years, or maybe around a little bit more, around 8-10 years, various levels of technology were always at that POC level, means proof of concept. Can we see a demo? Can we do a proof of concept here? Can we test it out? But in the last 2 years, the thing has completely changed. We see that people are investing in it. They are convinced that the technology is going to work, and actual digitalization of the operations is happening across all the companies. And I think by and large, this is what this slide talks about. There's a huge amount of investment happening. There's a huge focus on all segments, all industries, to say that we are going to leverage technology for our next 5 years growth, our next 10-year growth plans. A little bit of how Industry 4.0 evolved, and many of you might already know about it. So the first one was we talk about Industry 1.0 primarily, but it was when the, let us say the looms came in, the loom machines came in. Right, that was I think somewhere around 1784, when actually some work that could be done by the hand started being done by some form of machines. Then we moved to Industry 2.0, typically around 1923, where we say that there were some automated lines. The conversation, or let's say the statement made by Henry Ford saying, I can give you a car as long as it is black. But at the end of the day, what happened was the car was produced in a manufacturing line, and it was made available to a large portion of people, which was so far not available. The third one was when the PLCs and the CNCs came in. That was around 1969. And right now, you can say around 2010, 2012, 2014, that was when really the automations have come in, the technology has become advanced, and when people are talking about this Industry 4.0. Ultimately, Industry 4.0 is how you are able to collect data, collate data, utilize data, and create insights out of it. So now we are actually talking about various areas of automation, but the last point that we all are seeing now, which will also be let's say very important in the future, which is about the sustainability. How do you not only automate your production lines, but how do you do it sustainability is going to grow momentum. In fact, people have already started talking about Industry 5.0, which is Industry 4.0 plus sustainable practices. So the industry is moving that way. There are, again, various segments in the companies that we see who are a little more advanced in that area. Some people are catching on. But I think by and large, everybody has joined the bandwagon of automation and digital insights. Okay, which actually now brings me to just talk a little bit about how should we differentiate between the two. People are talk about digitizing, people call about digitalizing. What is the difference? And one major difference that I want you to focus is when we say automate your process or digitize your process, it is primarily ensuring that all the operations that you are doing in your company is getting recorded in some let us say system of record. It can be ERP, it can be CRM, it can be various other systems. These systems have been around for the last 20 years. The next level, after you have used and the data has got stored, the next level is about the system of intelligence, which is normal business intelligence or normal analytics, normal reports, dashboards that we know of. And then how do you reflect it? Reflect it to your customers, reflect it to your management, reflect it to yourselves, using some trend charts, using some data that you are able to see in various forms and shapes and color. But that is not digitalizing. This is the biggest difference, and this is also the biggest mistake that many people do. The right-hand side cannot happen without the left-hand side, but the left-hand side by itself will not redefine business. Because digitalizing is about how do you redefine your entire business operations. There are various technologies, I'm not getting into it, but at the end of the day, all these technologies are now existing over the last few years. There's a lot of testing and as I mentioned, POCs that have been done. It has been found that they are working at scale. That means it is not only working at the laboratories, they are also working in actual operationals and actual factories. And that is most important. All of these technologies are today available at scale, and as I speak, every year on year, the cost of these technologies is reducing. We heard the importance of 5G, we have heard the importance of metaverse, AI, ML, you just name it. Everything is getting cheaper day by day. Infrastructure to host the cloud ecosystems, the cost of analytics, the cost of storage, it is reducing like nobody's business. So it is actually an extremely affordable solution, extremely affordable technology that we talk about today. So why should organizations actually go digital? So of course, these are some of the numbers that many industries showcase. It changes from one industry to another, but by and large, it will impact your operational efficiencies, it will improve your throughputs, it will improve your quality, the sales efficiency of the sales people on the field. And here I'm not only talking about sales, but sales, service, technicians, anybody who is there out on the field, their efficiencies will go up tremendously. CSI, of course, it's a normal fallout when you are going to give higher quality, better service. And of course, the procurement efficiencies is also going to grow up. Because on one side, on the left-hand side, where we see these are the positives, but on the right-hand side, these are also the challenges which is driving companies towards going digital. Number one, costs. And here it can be raw material costs, labor costs, nothing is going down. So the question is, if all your input costs are going up, how can you improve your efficiencies and productivity? That is the number one concern when you want to go digitalize your solutions. Number two, revenues. Normal operations, which is done, which we have been used to doing for so many years, we have reached a kind of limit to those top line productivities and the revenues that we are able to earn and generate. How we can skip it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, that level change can only happen when your entire business process is changing, when you are reimagining the areas. One very simple example is, for example, let us take the cabs. So we had the black and yellow taxis, for example, in Bombay. Then came in the Meru cabs that basically pulled together. There was a fleet, but what the Uber and the Olas did was completely different. It came in with a platform of connecting one person or one set of people who have the taxis or the cars and another set of people who have a requirement to go from point A to point B, and how you can bring them together on a common platform, redefining business completely. And that gives the leverage. And that leverage does not come until and unless the entire business model is changing. Next, compliance. Compliance is, of course, becoming extremely important in India, but as we also discussed, many of you also want to go into the international markets. The more you want to go into international markets, all the laws related to, for example, the ISA 95, which talks about industry standard automation, international standards of automation will come in. Then there are GXPs, which are good practices that needs to be followed, whether it is good practices for testing, laboratories, production, maintenance, quality. All these things will come in. So it becomes very important, the compliance and the ESG perspective, and of course the ecosystem. And the ecosystem is not only us, but the next generation who is going to come in. How do we make our business models, how do we make our companies more interesting for them to continue, for them to grow, for them to join us, and then ensure that they are able to take that entire business to the next level. Extremely imperative for us to consider. When we are doing this, this is where we need to be clear that there are going to be these challenges that we will have to face in the digital world. Data security, more I said, Industry 4.0 is all about data. But every day in the newspapers, we talk about cyber theft, which means that data is vulnerable if it is not protected and secured. Number two, human resources. Not only is labor becoming costly, as we discussed, but also skilled people. People skilled in the new ways of work. People skilled in using the new technologies. Extremely important. Team support, of course, now when we talk about cross-functional teams, we talk about people sitting in multiple places. We no longer have the, let us say, the luxury of working with everybody in the same room, in the same place. So this is also something that we will have to leverage going forward. And how do we use the data? There is a terminology called black data or dark data, which means that maybe using all the systems of record, you start collecting tons and tons of data, but until and unless you are making meaningful sense, I'm not talking about trends and dashboards here, I'm talking until you are making meaningful, insightful sense, the data is just data. The data is not going to help you. And that is where we actually also in EY focus a lot on how to make meaning out of the data. And coming to the last slide from my presentation is when I talk about all this, it is not costly. However, what we need to understand is there has to be some steps into digitalizing the operations. The first one is if the systems are disconnected, if the processes are disconnected, the first step should be how do I connect the dots? And how do I start collecting the data and have a basic analytics around it? The next level will be then you go back and do digitalizing. You create those feedback loops. You create those insightful chains. You create those automated systems. And that is where we talk about the digitalizations. And it is definitely not a costly proposition, with India being kind of the hub of startups who have solutions on each and every area almost. In fact, that is also one area where we actually go deep dive and help organizations in curating which startup solutions will be fitting which company the best. Because it's very obvious that you can get lost into hundreds and thousands of startups who are there. Which ones will make sense for you? Which one will drive the next level benefits for you? So we do that curation. We get into the details of the processes. But at the end of the day, I think we in India right now are sitting on the cusp of the digital growth, the digital leap. And I think it is really very important for all of us to take advantage of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sengupta. It's a very good presentations. We will take the questions, I think so, later on, after this session, before this session over. Now I will invite Mr. Sukhwinder Singh, Enterprise Account Manager GoTo, to talk on the simplifying IT support for SMB world. So over to you, Mr. Singh.
Just start. So thank you everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you SME Chamber for giving us this opportunity to be here. So in the morning sessions I was attending, so one thing which every banker spoke about was how the financial inclusion and how the banks are helping you in your growth journey. Very important concept. But I'm going to speak something which is also very important for your growth, not just growth, but also to keep you relevant and keep you as a preferred partner for your stakeholders. So these stakeholders are your customers and your employees. Prasanjit, thanks for setting that platform, speaking about how digital transformation and technology is helping in that. So that is what I'm going to touch upon, that how technology can help you not just to grow, but also to stay relevant. See, one thing which was very common in all the three addresses in the morning was even the banks, they are embracing technology for that next leap of growth. to provide you better services. So if you look at it, even if you are SME, even if you are a large enterprise, if you want to get into that next phase of growth, you can't do it without a technology. A manual processes, a manual concept will just limit your growth to a specific point. So just get into it. So myself, Sukhvinder, I'm representing GoTo here. And what I'm going to speak about is how we, GoTo is helping SMEs in a digital workplace transformation. So before we get into it, if we look at the environment which we are living in, so if I make a statement that we are living in a VUCA world, that won't be unfair to say. So what I mean by VUCA world is, it's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, and it's ambiguous, right? So matlab day and night we are being hit by an events which we don't anticipate, and that impacts our business drastically. तो अगर हम 5, 6, 7 साल पहले से शुरू करते हैं, so there was this demonetization happened. If just we keep the politics of good and bad aside, it was an event which impacted our business drastically, right? चाहते ना चाहते we had to embrace it if we want to remain relevant in the business. While we were overcoming it, then GST came in. Some of us were prepared, some of us were still procrastinating कि शायद अभी 1 साल और delay होगा, we'll get adapt to it, but then it came and then we had to live with it. So that's how these events impact us. Abhi now we were navigating through it, then COVID hit us. And it completely changed how we do the business, how we interact with our customers, how we engage with our employees. Now again, while we were navigating through it personally and professionally, we saw this geopolitical tension coming up with Russia and Ukraine war. It again impacting our business. For some of us directly, for some of us indirectly. I know one of the delegate was asking about the financial transactions happening in Russia, how to navigate it. So if you look at it, all those things, and there's another concept, like say if you look at it 6, 7 months back, we were speaking about great resignations. Like people are resigning, they're asking for a raise. And now just 7 or 8 months after it, it's a great layoff period. See, irony of this, right? How fragile environment we are living in. Tens of thousands of people are being fired in US currently. Yesterday, I think there was an article, 80,000 Indians have lost their jobs in US. And like 7 months back, people were negotiating with one offer in the hand. So that's the fragility of the environment we are living in. And we have to embrace it, we have to be agile to navigate through it. So what is that important thing this volatility or this VUCA world has taught us? That the most important thing, if you want to stay relevant, is to keep your employees and your customers connected, right? If your employees are successful, your customers are successful, only then you will be able to grow. But then it is easier said than done, right? It brings with it a lot of complexity. So now if you look at it, the customers who were interacting with you physically 2 years back, who were visiting your branches, who were visiting your factories, now they want every experience to happen digitally now. If not every, most of it. And they want the same level of customer service and experience while sitting in their living rooms, which they were having 2-3 years back. And there was an interesting study which was done, which shows that 90% of customers are okay to take their business elsewhere than working with a company who is using outdated technology. 90% is a huge number. So that's the type of loyalty you have with the customers right now. It's all about the experience and the services they are getting. Just take your example, right? If your network is not working fine, you will switch, you will port your number. You have that flexibility. You don't have to stick with the particular career. Your number will be same, you just switch it. So that's the level of loyalty people are having right now. So we have to have that customer experience and agility to serve them. Same is with your employees. So again here what's happening is like again a study which happened which shows that 68% people refused for a job offer which didn't give them a flexibility of hybrid working. Who could have imagined this like 2 years back? But now you have to live with it. If you don't, if you avoid it, you're going to lose customers, you're going to lose talent. But what this keeping your people, keeping your employee connected, digitally keeping them has caused, it has really increased the workload of your IT teams. So I know most of you here are promoters and owners of the company. You don't have IT teams here. But if someone is managing an IT at your organization, you can go and check with them. In last 2 years, their workload has increased tremendously. And expectations also. So what we are doing as a company is, we are helping you to make your IT easy. So as a company, so are not a COVID-born baby. We are not a startup. We are a 20-year-old organization. We were founded in 2003 in Hungary, Budapest, and then we moved to Boston. We are headquartered there now. So in last 20 years, we built some products. We purchased some of the companies. We sold off some of the products of ours. Then we got listed in NASDAQ in 2019. Francisco Partners bought us back as a valuation of around $4.3 billion. Now we are a privately held company. And in year 2022, last year on 2nd Feb 2022, we did a brand transformation and we changed our name from LogMe to GoTo. And why we did it is something I'll cover in my subsequent slides. So this is a history about the company. So if we speak about India, so in India we are here since 2007. More than 15 years we are in operation in India. We are companies which has been focusing heavily on empowerment of SMEs. We have more than 45 plus SME focused partners. In fact, 2 of our partners are here with us at this event also. We have more than 2000 SME customers whom we are serving in India. So very interesting fact I'll share with you. So when this COVID came in March, Feb 2020, so what we did is we started offering emergency remote work kits to our customers, our prospects, so anyone who was reaching out to us. Like for 6 months, we gave them free tools for their collaboration, for remote support, for IT management, just to make them have a business continuity so that there is not a disruption and they can immediately start adapting to it. So we also have our engineering and R&D center located in Bangalore. We have more than 300 engineers sitting and developing on the products. We have a SOC and NOC center in Bangalore. So if I have to define a company in one line, what we do, what we are, so I'll say that we are your all-in-one solution for our essential connections. So what I mean by this essential connection is 2 things. One is your essential business communications and another is essential IT support. So we have been mentioning in the business for 20 years. So we are proud to say that we have an uptime of 99.999%. That's 59. It's like unheard for any SaaS based company like us. So we have a zero trust security architecture model. And the most important thing is we have a very strong ecosystem of our partners and system integrators in India, in APAC and across the globe to help you and support you in your process. And very important thing, so I'll cover that in next slide, is all of our products are available on a single powerful GoTo app. Even if you're looking for a collaboration, for IT support, for help desk, you don't have to navigate with different vendors, different platform, different application. आप सब कुछ एक single powerful app में कर सकते हो, and the most important is it is very affordable. It is purposely meant for the keeping SMEs in the mind. So like I was speaking about, when we did this brand transformation, so the reason behind it was just not just changing our logo or the name. So we had like close to 16 products in our portfolio. So we had close to 16 products in our portfolio. What we did is we simplified everything together on one single powerful platform called GoTo. On single powerful platform called GoTo. And now what we have is, I was mentioning 2 essential things, one essential business communication and one essential IT support. So in business communication, what it is your meetings, aapko collaborate karna hai with your employees, with your customers, you can do it through GoTo. If you, I think someone is like navigating the laptop. Yeah. So the meetings, you can have your virtual events if you want to perform, you can do that. You want to do trainings, that's again everything possible on single full platform called GoTo. The second important thing is your IT support, which is GoTo Resolve. So what Resolve can help you do is, it helps you to provide a support to your employees as well as your customers. So what I mean by this support is, there are 2 types of supports you can offer. One is a software related support, right? If your employees are using your official assets, they're facing any problem with the laptop, emails not working, any software not working, so you can remotely troubleshoot it. You can just send them a link, take a remote control of their device and do a troubleshooting. The second thing is, if you want to do a troubleshooting of any hardware related issues, like most of you are into a manufacturing segment, you have your components, you have your machinery being used by your end customers. If they are having any issue, you want to troubleshoot it, it can help you do that. How it does it, I'll just cover in the next slide. Another very important thing, so it's a ticketing. So what we have seen is specifically for SMB customers, more than 30% of SMBs are still either using the homegrown tools to manage their ITs or just managing every asset and every information on the Excel sheets, which is not a subtle way of looking at it if you want to grow, if you want to scale. So what we provide is everything can be done on our platform, your asset management, your inventory management, your remote support, your remote collaboration, each and everything is done on a single powerful platform called GoTo. So so these are some of the customers which we have. If you look at it, you will see some of the very big names like Microsoft, Canon, Visa, Vodafone, HP. So while I was speaking that our products are built and meant for SMBs, but doesn't mean that enterprises are not using us. And why so? Because our products are so secure, they are built on such a strong foundation. The type of support we provide and the type of reliability and ease of use these products are having. So it is a product which enterprises are using, but are equally affordable for SMBs in India. So I was speaking about the visual support. So I specifically kept this slide or this specific use case because this is what we see in most of the SME customers in India. So what's happening is like if you are into a manufacturing domain, you are manufacturing an equipment and it is being used at your end customer site. They are facing any problem with it. So they'll call you for a support. It could be either a repair, it could be either a replacement, it could be just a troubleshooting. And you end up sending someone at their location to look at it what the problem is. But with Rescue Live Lens, what you can do is, it's a very secure way of connecting with them through their mobile phones. You will just send them a link, they'll click on their link, their rear camera will start projecting, and you can actually see what they're projecting on that mobile screen. So now you can look at it, which model they are using, which product they are actually using, what is the sort of problem they are facing. Is it a physical damage which has happened, or it is just some troubleshooting, repairs or repair which is required. So now next time if you want to send someone to look at it, you can send them equipped. If there's a replacement required, they can carry a replacement equipment. Or it's just a troubleshoot required, which you can help them. You can show annotations. This is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. You can visually guide them to do that troubleshooting. So that's how powerful this tool is. And all these tools work on a browser. You don't need an installation. You don't need to install anything on the endpoints. Just the internet is required and a mobile phone with an internet connection is required. That's it. So I have one last slide, which is a video case study, which speaks one of the use cases for Rescue Live Lens. Let's just play it.
For most companies, the hardest part of customer support is that often it takes longer to identify the problem than it does to actually solve it. Introducing Rescue Lens, the first true customer-assisted support solution. Lens allows your customers to show you the problem, rather than having to explain it. So customer service agents see exactly what the customers see. This is Paula. She's a bit of a perfectionist. That's especially true when there's a big client coming to the office, because Paula's the one who stays late to prep the reports. Prep the reports. Uh-oh, looks like Paula's run into a problem, and it's getting pretty late, and she's the last one here, and the meeting's the first thing in the morning. What the heck? But what if she could talk to a customer service agent who is using Rescue Lens? Okay, now the CS agent can see everything Paula sees, and quickly directs her to the trouble spot. It doesn't matter if she moves her phone.
This one here?
Yep, that's the one.
The CS agent still easily tracks the action. Without the help of a Lens-enabled CS agent, Paula ends up experimenting, and that pretty much puts her on the verge of a nervous breakdown. But with Lens, she's found the fix. And printing like a champ. The reports are prepped, and Paula's headed home for the night with not a hair out of place. Still no fix for that bumpy carpet though. For most...
So that's it from my side. I think questions we are taking at the end. So I'm here. So we do have our partners with us, Dikshit, today. So we have a booth outside. We have met some of you. Those we have not got a chance to meet, please do come by. Any questions, we are here to answer that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Now I'll invite Ms. Geeta Rao, AGM State Bank of India, Mumbai Metro Circle, to talk on the trade finance facilities for SME manufacturers, exporters and importers. Over to you, Rao, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all the people gathered here for today's India SME Business Summit. So I am here on behalf of our SME Business Unit, Mumbai Metro Circle, headed by Sri Uttam Verma sir, and our Treasury Marketing Unit, and all trade finance processing outfits serving for the SME customers. So the topic given to me is trade finance facilities for SME manufacturers, exporters and importers. So we all know SMEs are the growth engine for our economy, and approximately with 63 million units across the country, their contribution to GDP growth and employment is very much on the rise. As already told by some of the earlier speakers in the morning session, share of SMEs in our GDP is 31%, contributed mostly by services sector MSMEs and by manufacturing MSMEs also. And there's a substantial contribution from MSMEs to exports by 40% and industrial output to the tune of 45%. Coming to employment generation, with a very less capital cost, MSMEs contribute and generate approximately 111 million employment. Coming to production, more than 8,000 quality products are contributed from MSME sector. This is as per the MSME Annual Report 2021. Now, what are the basic enablers for SME? It is people, policies and financial needs. So, people with entrepreneurial talent, workforce, then policies with supporting laws, regulations and rules, infrastructure and schemes. Coming to financial needs for fixed assets, procurement of raw material, labor and other miscellaneous expenses. Now let us look at the overview where SBI as a bank stands as a pioneer in serving MSME. We have a 24,000 branch network across India, and they reach out to MSME sector through the dedicated sales team, which is 10,000 plus for serving MSMEs. And this caters to 20 lakh plus MSME units across India. Now let us come down to our geographical area, that is comprising this Mumbai Metro, including Thane region, South Mumbai, East Mumbai and also West Mumbai. So we reach out to MSME sector through almost 31 dedicated outfits, that is SME intensive branches are 19. Then we have 18 SME processing centers, and there is 2 separate units for supply chain finance unit and also Surya Shakti cell. Apart from that, there are 2 trade finance processing centers for the servicing of this SME credit. A total of 26,883 SME customers are there as on 31st December 2022. And as already discussed by our Rana sir, CGM, there are 55 relationship managers within our Mumbai region to have a specific attention to the MSME. And there are AGM SMEs, Assistant General Manager level officers are heading in each zone, South, West, Thane and East zones. Now let us go to the products available to meet the diverse requirements of MSME, be it traditional banking product or sector specific product. You name anything, it is available. Like I will just read out: working capital term loan, e-vendor finance, e-dealer finance, retailer finance, export finance, fleet finance, warehouse finance, equipment finance, asset-backed loans, and solar finance. Coming to sector specific, it is healthcare finance, cluster financing, that is chemical machine tools, ready-made garments, plastic products, auto components, medical equipment, and construction equipments. So let us come to the actual topic, like that is trade finance facilities. I am also heading a trade finance outfit in Andheri region. We have another one in Lower Parel. So this caters to the entire trade finance servicing of the Mumbai Metro MSME customers. So when we tell trade finance, then comes along with this foreign exchange. So we have foreign exchange, rupee market and other financing products. So first, trade finance fund-based products, we have pre-shipment export finance as well as post-shipment export finance, as you all know. So this we are offering in both foreign currency as well as Indian rupees. So in foreign currency we have pre-shipment credit in foreign currency, and in rupee we have export packing credit. Coming to post-shipment finance, that is bill discounting facilities, that is again available in foreign currency as well as INR. So it is EBR bill discounting we say when it is in foreign currency to liquidate the PCFC availed, and then rupee bill discounting to liquidate the PCFCs availed in the post-shipment stage. So this is about the export finance. What about the import finance? After the tenor, the stipulated tenor for the import, which they have the arrangement with the supplier, there is a short-term loan facility which we are extending to importers. So earlier it was termed buyer's credit, which was backed by letter of undertaking, but now it has been shifted to a standby line of credit facility. So this we are arranging through our wide network of foreign offices basically. So that is about the major trade finance products, funded products. Then comes our foreign exchange products, that is our treasury products, like we have spot rates, then derivative products like forward contracts, crosses, that is cross currencies not involving rupee, then options. Most of you must be aware and you are all utilizing this facility also. And then we have swaps, interest rate swaps, then currency interest rate swaps, POS, COS, etc. Then coming to rupee market, we have commercial paper, non-convertible debenture, certificate of deposit, government securities, T-bill, etc. So SBI is the largest market maker in fact in onshore USD INR, GSEC and T-bills. What are the other financing? We have external commercial borrowing, then we have FCNB term loan and demand loan, and also foreign currency bonds, which we are extending through our branches. And regarding the network of our trade finance branches, there are authorized category A and B category, 600 plus branches across India. And in Mumbai Metro, we are catering to more than 40 branches, and it is servicing is done through the back office trade finance CPCs. This is about funded facility, but then we have other trade finance offerings also. That is non-funded facilities. You know, it is not only the export, import or the foreign trade. There is a huge domestic trade also happening. So in bank guarantees, we are a major player. So we have inland and foreign bank guarantees. Similarly, letter of credit, inland and foreign. Then in export and inland business, there is an LC advising and confirmation requirements. So these are being catered to. Then collection business. Now more and more trade is going to open market operations, and LCs are coming to be in a lesser way. So there's a huge collection business happening in export bill collection, import bill collection, inland bill collection, etc. Then there is trade remittances. We have both the trade and non-trade remittances, but related to trade we have import and export remittances. It can be after the actual shipment or actual import, called import payment and export realization, but it can be advance also. So we have advance import payments and advance export realizations. See, this is something I am having a lot of pleasure to share with you. See, our State Bank of India has been adjudged from automatically. Best Trade Finance Provider India 2021. In fact, they have awarded in 2022 also. We have got this award, Best Trade Finance Provider India 2022 also by Global Finance Magazine. What are the criteria for selecting this award? They look at the transaction volumes, customer service, innovations in digital technologies, then what is the scope of global coverage. So in region wise and also in each country they give this award, and we are getting this 9th time in a row. See, apart from branches in India which are catering to trade finance, we have a outreach in 31 countries. We have 200 points of global presence, and out of, one second, can someone help me? It's automatically going. Yeah, okay, sir. Yeah. So out of these 31 countries, in 25 countries, we are very active in trade finance also. So most of your LC business, export business, etc., we route through our foreign offices also. So there's a lot of synergy happening. So we have a lot of visibility when we are dealing our own branches in various countries. And across the globe, we are serving more than 459 million customers. Now a quick look at the trade figures. See, up to during the current financial year, up to November 2022, our overall trade has reached in exports at $499.67 billion. And in imports, it has reached $610.7 billion. What about the merchandise trade? We know that overall trade include both services and merchandise trade. Now, see, today we are more talking about the digitization. Today's this panel topic itself is about the digital initiatives. So we are also very much into the digital initiatives in trade finance also. Like our CGM sir was mentioning in the morning, we have introduced this yonobusiness.sbi. You can, from the URL itself, .sbi is a very unique URL. Nobody can replicate that. That itself guarantees the security with which we have introduced this. What is about Yono Business? See, Yono Business, it not only caters to e-trade. As soon as one customer is onboarded for Yono Business, at a stretch they are getting 5 facilities. That is corporate internet banking, cash management product, supply chain finance, e-forex and e-trade. So customers have the option, they can choose any one, or depending upon their requirement, they can have credentials or access created for based on their requirement. Like corporate internet banking, all our customers are currently using that. Bank with best in class service with Yono Business for all daily corporate banking needs, with our multiple variants of tailor-made current accounts for your basic business needs. What about cash management product? It is designed to offer a seamless collection and payment management solution for business. Supply chain finance acts as an intermediary to help manage your corporate finance, dealer finance for the sales side and vendor finance for the purchase side. E-forex. E-forex is a platform where a comprehensive list of services for business to manage all type of foreign exchange requirement. I will talk in detail in the coming slides related to both e-forex and e-trade. E-trade for growing businesses involved in international as well as domestic trade. Our services help you navigate in complexities of import and export with ease. Look at this slide. This is the digital customer journeys available on our Yono Business. Be it any trade finance product, it is already happening through the Yono Business platform. There is 100% penetration of digital LCs in some parts of our country, and in our Mumbai region it is almost between 60 to 70%. In fact, inland LC, import LC and collection bills are already happening, and then e-bank guarantees are also going to happen. You must have recently heard, now bank guarantees will be issued digitally. In association with NESL, we are planning to launch e-bank guarantees in the next 1 month in 9 states across the country. In Maharashtra, it will take some more time, but it is also going to happen soon. So these are all through the YONO business platform. Like every speakers were mentioning, this is the era of digitization and sustainability. Nobody want to visit the branch or submit the paper documents, and we all know that trade finance has long been always having the hassle of lot of paperwork, documents, visiting the branch, following up with the branch. Now with this digitization, it is not only that you can avoid visiting the branch or submitting the further paper documents, it is also that you can have the 100% visibility of your transactions. That entire transaction life cycle will be visible to you at your desktop. And it is not only having a desktop version, it is having a mobile app also. So people who are already using YONO for the retail transactions, their investment, everything, insurance, everything is through the YONO. Similar way, entire trade business can be handled through this YONO business platform. It will also have a maker checker facility, though customer has to have the credentials allotted in their unit, and on the go they can approve their trade finance transactions. Of course, there is a documentation requirement in the beginning at the branch. There is an agreement and one-time indemnity documents to be executed. But once that is done, then the journey is very easy. There is no stamping requirement for LCs and BGs. Then the journeys are very smooth. There are a lot of dashboards available, and there is a support team available, which is displayed on the home screen itself, and there are notifications. So there is a chat facility with the relationship manager at the branch. So once, if you have any queries, we have a support team number also. So whoever have the queries, we have a support team email also, which I will share. So it is import LC, inland LC. When it comes to export, many customers get LCs. So the advising and confirmation of the export LCs, their further lodgement and discounting facilities, these are all catered through the YONO business. So this is that URL. I am once again showing that. So earlier we had for the 5 products like CINB, E-Trade, E-Forex and all, separate URLs were there. But now everything is accessible to through a single yonobusiness.sbi secured by user credentials. And this is our support team email ID also, support.yonobusiness@sbi.co.in. So their facility support will be available once you are onboarded. So just to give a feel of what is the process flow, what is the process flow for the customer, I am just highlighting a few points and the process flow here. Maker can just log in and click on the issue LC. Then it is not on the LC features that is available. You can have your visibility of what is the credit limit available, what are the margins displayed. Even you can select, go through the TDRs available and allocate the stipulated margin also on the YONO business itself. Then once you input the minimum fields required for your LC, there is an option to save it as a template. So it is no more required that you have to type every time for issuing an LC. Once it is saved a template, you can either use that facility or you can do a fresh data entry. Then select the terms and conditions, undertaking and FEMA declaration with a simple click, which is the standard wordings which now use in the application forms. Then there is an upload facility. That is the big feature. All the supporting documents, that is the underlying pro forma or invoice or sales contract, can be uploaded in the app itself. Maker can submit and checker can just authorize it either in bulk by selecting all or in single way. So the whole process will take less than 10 minutes. And if you have saved a template, there will be a faster turnaround time. Stamping is waived for digital LC, reduces the effort by pre-populating 70% of the fields. There is no branch visit or physical submission of documents or physical submission of FEMA declaration required. because there's a one-time indemnity already executed at the branch. So always trade finance comes with the exchange rates. So this has been a pain point for many customers because they are very much worried about the competitive rates, because volatility in the currency is the main factor which affects MSME customers. So we have launched eForex through YONO platform. It doesn't have any minimum transaction size. Earlier there was a minimum transaction size of USD 20,000, but now even for 1 unit of currency, the customer can book the deal or rate and negotiate rate with the dealer in the dealing room. And currencies available, all the major currencies which are being used like USD INR, Euro INR, GBP INR, and cross currencies like GBP USD and Euro USD are available. And there is no eligibility criteria related to forex turnover also. Many of our forex facilities earlier used to have a cap on the forex turnover of like INR 20 crores. Now that cap is also removed. And there is a one-time documentation, as I already mentioned, for YONO Business, application for eForex, board resolution, and stamped indemnity to be provided at the branch. And in this facility, one more additional feature in the dashboard is that, like one customer is doing various transactions. A part they are booking through the branch, some they are booking through the eForex. So everything will be available in the dashboard and they can have the visibility. So before concluding my presentation, this is the process flow for the eForex booking. So here also there is an upload document facility. Then you know that sometimes in trade finance or eForex, what happens after submission of documents, there can be some discrepancy which branch may notify regarding the documents. So we have a document first facility also. That is, first you can upload the document, branch will go through that and give you a go ahead for booking rate. And everything can be managed through a notification. Branch will get the notification that yes, this application has flown. So it is now going to be very hassle free for all trade finance, and apart from the import LC, bank guarantees and inland LCs, even export, bill collection, import bill lodgement, acceptance, everything is going to, it is already launched and within 4 months it will be in full-fledged. So with this I will just wind up the presentation. Then I will display the contact list of our SME business unit, which is headed by Sri Uttam Verma sir at our local head office. Then we have 4 zones headed by AGM SMEs, and we have a treasury marketing unit. In case of any clarifications related to eForex, treasury related products, you can always reach out to this team. They have 4 relationship managers also. They provide appropriate hedging solutions. There is guidance provided for processing of foreign currency loans. There is a provision of research reports on forex markets, and daily market views on major currencies are also provided by them. The team is also present here, so during the interaction you can also interact with them if anybody is interested. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam, for the good insights about the trade facilities available digitally to the SME customers. Without wasting time, now I will invite Mr. Ashok Kumar Yadav, Director, Software Technology Park of India, that is STPI, to talk on the digital technology, a catalyst for SME's growth. Over to you, Mr. Yadav.
So, a very lovely good afternoon to all of you. So, I am Ashok Kumar Yadav, and I am, you can say, represent Software Technology Parks of India, Mumbai. So, already you can say, 2 previous speakers is already you can say that we set the context about a digital technology. So, first let me you can say that means just to give you information about how STPI under Ministry of Electronics and IT God of India has, you can say that means now helping and supporting the small medium entrepreneurs and startups through its various digital platforms. So my top, definitely you can say I will try to, you can say that means cover all these points about what is STPI, what is the roles and responsibilities of STPI, and what is the new initiatives of STPI for the promotions of tech startups and innovation-led entrepreneurship. How STPI Center of Excellence in Emerging Technology, which is catalyzing to make India a product nation, and what are the financial incentives are available for the small medium entrepreneurs who are working in the field of IT, ITES and electronic sectors, and the startups through our, you can say, new initiatives. So first I am going to talk about STPI. So STPI was, you can say, established in the way back of 1991 under the Department of Electronics, the present Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, God of India, with an objective to promote export of software and IT services from the country by providing conducive environment, policy support and infrastructure facility. At present, STPI is having 62 plus centers operational across the country, and out of which 50 centers are located at Tier 2 and Tier 3 city. So STPI offers an array of services, especially for the promotions of software exports, innovations and startups culture in India. So STPI has one, you can say, that means the services is called statutory, because STPI also act as a regulator to provide the statutory services under the foreign trade policy. There's two policies called Software Technology Park Scheme, another policy is called Electronic Hardware Technology Park Scheme. Both the scheme has been designed to provide the various benefits to the IT exporters and the electronics exporters. Under the STPS schemes, it's a completely 100% export-oriented schemes for the development and exports of computer software, including export of professional services using communications link or physical media. If any IT company or ITES company does any IT exports, they are entitled to get various benefits from the STPI. They will get 100% duty-free import. Suppose you can say they are importing any, you can say, hardware capitals for the development of any IT products or software development. So the whole capital they are importing is totally a duty-free. Second thing, they are going to get a, you can say, that means the reimbursement of GST on the procurement of indigenous items. Third, because the STPI scheme was very, very popular, especially you can say till 2011, because there was, you can say, benefit of the 100 tax benefits on exports turnover. So STPI has played a very, you can say, phenomenal role for placing the Indian IT and ITS industry into the global map of IT. Now, the total IT exports of India is around 9 lakh crores. And out of 9 lakh IT exports of India, where 50% exports is being done by only STPI registered units. And as of now, we have around 5,000 IT and ITES company are registered with STPI across the country. So STPI operates from 62 plus centers across the country, and generally it acts as a facilitator to support the IT industry, and we provides other various services, value-added services for the overall development of IT sectors. So because STPI started, you can say, the way back of 1991, so we had the government incubators. So we, you can say, provides incubation services to all the small medium entrepreneurs, to startups, to a small IT units who would like to start their business from the first day. So B provides a physical infrastructures in the form of incubation services, where you will get the whole supports, through, you can say that means through our, you can say that means hand holding. So another, you can say that means the services, recently STPI has created data centers in 5 locations of the country, at Chennai, Bhubaneswar, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Vijayawada also. So the creation of all the data center, the purpose of creating all data centers to support to startups by offering the cloud services, because the cloud services is now, you can say, very demand. So the STPI, being a, that means the government body, they are planning to provide the, you can say, services in nominal prices. So we have created that kind of, you can say, data center in the country, and also STPI act as a government regulator or provide audit services, because generally, you can say, most of the companies go for a IT audit. So in that way, STPI also, that means, try to provide as a audit service under information security auditing services. So another, you can say, all we have been, you can say, that means the witnessing, and the government is taking a lot of initiatives to promote the innovations, startups, and they have created you can say, creating a multiple policies. The policy that is called the Digital India programs, that was launched by the Honorable PM in 2015, with an aim to transform the India into a digitally economic society and knowledge economy, and aligning with the vision of, you can say, Digital India program. STPI has started or taken a various initiatives by creating the 2 schemes. That one of the schemes is called the Center of Excellence. The Center of Excellence has been created, especially already, you can say, that means in the form of emerging technology. So we have a 22 plus Center of Excellence, especially, you can say, to support to all the budding entrepreneurs, the innovators, where you will find all the advanced lab facilities, where, you can say, we are hand holding the startups and the small medium entrepreneurs to from ideation stage to go to the market stage, where we are also providing a seed funding of 25 lakh to each startups and to a small Indian entrepreneurs who having, you can say, potential, who has good potentials, good ideas, and so accordingly there, you can say, that means the stages, or there, you can say, products, we always try to support them. So this I said because what is the policy that is called the Next Generation Incubation Scheme. That policy was, you can say, created in 2019 from tier 2, tier 3 locations. As all we know that India is known for the service sector, and India is lagging behind the technology in the product sector. Keeping in view of that, the government has created one policy. That policy name is called National Policy on Software Products, and under this policy, government has earmarked some, you can say, budgetary outlay of the 100 crore, especially for supporting the startups with from the tier 2 locations. That means only 12 locations has been chosen under this scheme. Is from the Bhubaneswar, Dehradun, Guwahati, Jaipur, Lucknow, Prayagraj, Mohali, Patna and Vijayawada. These 12 locations has been identified by the government, where we have set up, you can say, the NGIS labs, where we are supporting, you can say, all the startups, and we are conducting a various challenge program. Through our challenge program, we are selecting the best startups, and we are, you can say, providing them the mentoring, training, and we have around 200 plus mentors, especially are associated with our, you can say, these schemes to give to, that means, to provide them, you can say, that means, to scale up their business, to grow their businesses, and to give, you can say, that means, to fulfill their, you can say, that means, what, entrepreneurial journey. So already, you can say, it was started in 2019, and now, you can say, within the 2 and 3 years, we have already onboarded 245 startups so far, and we have already disbursed around 10 crore rupees already to all the startups to, you can say that means to scale up their businesses, to create a POC, to creating a prototype of their products. So number of things we are supporting, and our target is to support around 300 startups and entrepreneurs and small medium entrepreneurs. And our focus is to, out of 300 startups, 50% startup should go for a patent file, should go for a IPR, because as you can say, as said, because India is lagging behind in technology, so the government wants to transform the India from the service sector to the product sector, and accordingly, because the government has set an ambitious target to, you can say, achieve $1 trillion digital economy. So digital products, especially digital services, to that means to support and to promote this digital technology, especially the startups, because India, as you can say, that means the third largest startup across the, especially in the world, and to support, to hold the startups, to promote the R&D, innovations, and the software products, the government has taken various initiatives through our NGIS schemes. So as I just mentioned just before, we have already launched a 22 Center of Excellence, and our 22 Center of Excellence are especially in domain specific, in all the emerging technology, whether it's a blockchain, whether it's a IoT, whether it's a AR, VR, whether it's a, that means to the fintech, or it's a medical electronics. So even our Center of Excellence, that the center, actually that means the objective of, you can say, that creating a Center of Excellence to foster entrepreneurship, innovation and knowledge exchange, and build leadership in emerging technology, or help startups to create world-class IT ESDM products indigenously, or generating direct or indirect employment, provide a vibrant platform and 360-degree supports to startups. So, especially in these slides, I have just, you can say, that means highlighted about the all, you can say, that means the operational, our Center of Excellence. If you are seeing, that means the various Center of Excellence, you can say, have been highlighted, and we have given a special name to each and all Center of Excellence, like FinBlue, like you can say the motion. The FinBlue, this time FinBlue is especially, you can say, focusing upon the FinTech Center of Excellence that has been set up in Chennai in the support of industry, academia and the government, where you can say we are providing the hand-holding to all the startups through our, you can say, various Center of Excellence. The VARCO represents, that means especially AR and VR Center of Excellence that has been set up especially in the Bhubaneswar. So number of center of, you can say, you are seeing, you can say image there, and the whole objective is to, that means to creating this Center of Excellence is only to build a leadership, to build a next wave of budding entrepreneurs in the emerging sector of technology, because all we know that emerging technology is going to play a major role to reach and to touch the target of 1 trillion digital economy. So in that way, and because the whole, you can say, idea is to creating, to make India a product nation. So all are the industry, because just I have mentioned a small, you can say, few names about our chief mentor. The beauty of our STPI Center of Excellence is here, all Center of Excellence is being headed by the IT stalwarts, because not, you can say, directly, you can say, interfering by the government, because we have created, we can say, one of the management where all, you can say, that means the top style expert. You see in the name, the Mr. Arun Jain, you can say, he's, you can say, ex-founder of Polaris. He's right now heading to our FinBlue Center of Excellence in Chennai. Similarly, you are seeing the name Mr. Sanjeev Keskar is there. He's, you can say, is you can say head of, is a founder of Aero Electronics. He is heading our Center of Excellence is Open Lab Bengaluru. So Open Lab Bengaluru is all in the working in the IoT areas. Similarly, in the state of Maharashtra, we have created a 2 center of excellence. One center of excellence working in the field of electric vehicle that has been set up in the STPI Pune. Another center of excellence has been created recently by the STPI in the state of Maharashtra, that is called Agritech, that has been set up in the campus of Dr. P.K. Rao Akola campus. So whole center, even you can say you are seeing the name of Mr. Subrat Bagchi. Subrat Bagchi, you can say, is founder of Mindtree. So he is, you can say, heading over one center of excellence, especially in the AR/VR in the IIT campus of Bhubaneswar. So you are finding all stalwarts, you can say, associated with STPI, especially to promote, to support, and that means to create. That means to, you can say, create the culture of, you can say, the startup culture, because the government, you can say, now focusing on, emphasizing on to create the culture of startups. Because all we can say, even because the digital technology, lot of digital technology, you can say, that means now you can say helping us to grow in future. So accordingly, the STPI is, you can say, that means taking the steps or aligning with the vision of the government, creating that kind of the holistic ecosystem in India to promote startups and to promote a digital technology. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yadav. It's a good presentation and a good initiative from this ministry. Now I'll invite Mr. Avinash Vellal. He is a CIO Catonic to talk on the digital disruption and business enablers for growth.
Thank you, Mesh. So let me give a brief introduction of mine. I am Avinash Vellal. I have spent 35 years in the industry across IT functions in L&T, Siemens and Atos. I am a certified independent director and advisor. Currently I am advising Catonic. It's an AI/ML company. I am a president of Mumbai CIO Club chapter, where we have around 1200 plus eminent CIOs across the country. And I was planning to hang up my boots, but Mr. Salunke said, yes, you have to help me set up the SME Chamber of Technology Development Council. So it's 100x more complicated stuff which I have taken up since August now. So thank you for that, Mr. Salunke and SME Chamber. So let me ask you a question. How many of you are hungry? All? Oh my God. How many hungry for knowledge was my next question. So, yeah, okay. Okay, hungry for knowledge. So good, I can go ahead with my 70 slides next. No, I won't have 70 slides. Normally this is a showstopper presentation. Normally fashion industry में देखते हैं ना showstopper last में आता है. So I'm the last. And thanks to Prasanjit and Sukhwinder, they have done enough justice to talk about what is digitalization, why it is necessary, where it should be. So I'm not going to be a predictive this thing. I'm going to give a prescriptive description in my presentation. There is so many things to be covered, but I would like to be specific for SMEs, what you can do. So hope it makes sense for you, and we can definitely touch base later on too. So I'd like to be a more interactive. So why do you think digitalization is required? Any one of you? Few of you? Growth, trend, what else? Simplify process, scale, accuracy, efficiency, cost, fantastic. Mass, outreach, beautiful. I mean, you all can talk about it. I don't want to talk from here. But my take is transform or perish. As Sukhwinder is saying, it's a VUCA world. There are so many changes happening, geopolitical tensions, technology, pandemics, etc. So today we are in a world where so many businesses are just falling at the side because they are not ready to change. Okay? And digitalization is a big change, which is become an essential. Before COVID, it was like nice to have, good to be. But now you have to transfer. There are so many examples I can give. Meru Cab was one somebody mentioned earlier. They didn't want to transform, they perished or nearly perished. Kodak, they had the technology inventor coming and showing them the digital camera feature, but they refused. They said, we don't see this. And every good business who has been established, they used to perish out. The duration was long, maybe 5 years, 10 years, but now that has come down to years or months. So it is very important for us to understand why we are here and what we want to change. And the benefit what you guys have in SME is the agility to change. As a large enterprise, it takes enough time, enough complexity, but you can definitely change pretty fast. Unfortunately, we have funding issues, we have skill issues, we have a lot of other issues, but let's try to work. SME Technology Development Council is here. I'll share what we want to do. And here I'll just go on with a few of the enablers and what they can do. They will look very simplistic. Pardon me if it's too simplistic, but it's easier to handle easy because we IT guys have a habit of giving jargons, complicated names and technology. We never translate to business. And if we translate to business, I have been always telling my subordinates, translate to the business, talk in their lingo, so that it's easier for them to adopt. So with no further ado, just get into it. So what you're talking about digital disruption for SME, it will be the process by which you will use the technologies and the internet to change your existing process. So digitalization, if you see, there are 3 angles to it. The first one is customer satisfaction. Digitalization tries to ensure, earlier it was all internal, but now the world has gone 180 degrees. You're having focus on a lot of external customer satisfaction angles, which is why you need digitalization. Number 2 is workforce optimization, wherein you need to optimize your workforce and processes that will lead to digitalization in your environment. And the primary one is a business model change. You have been running businesses traditionally for a year, but now in a shared economy, you will have to look at your product and revamp it and make it a service. That's the mantra for you to really survive and grow 10x. That's called moonshot. So if you look at what is digitalization, I mean, Prasanjit made a differentiation of digitization, you need to understand that. So digitization is just automating, but digitalization is where you make a business model change. And today there are hundreds of technology enablers, but I would like to pick up some 3-4 here which will make an impact in this thing. One is cloud computing, analytics, artificial intelligence, which is very popular, and Internet of Things. And there are so many twin manufacturing, IoT and other things, but I don't want to get into it. As I said, it is going to be more of a prescriptive. I'll get into that. So cloud computing, how does the cloud computing help an SME segment? Large enterprises, they have already derived the benefits. Primarily, you will have access to powerful and scalable technology. Challenge today with SME is you are running with old set of servers and computers, and any IT guy comes to you say, sir, we have to change bada server lena hai, kuch hard disk storage lena hai. It's difficult for him to justify. Plus, there are a lot of other peripheral networking issues and all. So cloud here is offering you a scalable platform which you can jump onto and scale as your business needs. So if you are not done and utilize the cloud environment, please start the journey today. I mean, most of you must be there, but then still, if you are still computing, thinking about business issues, security, now it's pretty mature and you can definitely leverage the cloud. It will improve your competency and efficiency by being available everywhere, making it very easy to operate, easy to leverage, because if anywhere you have thousands of case studies if you go on site to show you how cloud is cheaper than your own infrastructure and trying to set up an environment. Plus you also have all the skill sets managing those things which internally you can't afford. So cloud is the best story for SME which can happen, and pandemic has proved it beyond for large enterprises or SMEs. So please focus on cloudifying your environment. New business models and revenue streams. If you are reaching out, you can only expand, you can expand geographically or you can expand your region. And cloud allows you to operate from anywhere, anyhow. You don't need really offices. Today, everybody is into a virtual office. There are so many plethora of shared workstations available. You can leverage that, so you don't need a business center or a complete office when you have to expand your business. Security and compliance risk. Today, all that thing becomes a part of the cloud journey where the vendor has to ensure complete security and risk environment is taken care, compliance environment is taken care, which individually each of the small company or a pretty sizable company can do it, but is becoming so tech, so this thing, that it is difficult for you to keep those resources and run the environment. So I am not pushing for cloud vendors here, but this is what you really need to look, cloudifying your environment. You can ask me questions in between, it's okay. Hope I am clear. Next is data analytics. I mean, people think data analytics is pretty, very deep science or something. No, it is basically getting your business insights from whatever data you have. And that you anyway have been doing. Only thing you are doing manually with your years of experience. But with the kind of data being generated today, you no more can do it. So you need those tools and technologies. They are not very expensive. You need to identify what you need to make a business insight of and apply, rather than trying to get carried away by some big projects. So it will allow you to improve your customer engagement and loyalty, because today it is a world of customer segmentation. It's how am I being served, whether I'm being personally served or not. And this is the most critical aspect. When you do this analytics, you'll have those CRM data, all the activities you've done with them, when has interface, like when Sukhvinder said that what is the customer support I have, how many times is what areas they have taken support, etc. You will have a complete picture. And when you tell him, boss, last time आपने ये किया था, इसके वजह से हमने इसलिए आप वापस उसी के लिए आ रहे हो, एक बार check कर लो. So it gives a lot of confidence in your business, saying that you understand me, you know me, and you get a personalized feeling, which is very important. And that can happen on big data analytics, or analytics, what do you say. Optimizing business operations. When you know you have enough data, you can always find out where you are making wastages. So if you focus what are the areas data you have, and if you see, and you look at your policies, maybe traditionally you have been having policies ages and ages without looking at it. But if you look at your data and your policy, you can always see there is some fine tuning of the policies required, some fine tuning of processes required, which will immediately eliminate wastage. And wastage elimination is a big saving for you. When we are struggling for every penny, and this is right in your hands in a back door. Identifying new revenue streams. So as I was saying earlier, you need to look at a service-based offering from product. So we already have a lot of product knowledge. Each one has an excellent competence of existence over there, experts in this. If we can bring that out and push it across to the customer, by showing his data, you already have the customer data over the ages. You can say, look here, this is what is you have been buying this, and this is the environment. I give you a service which is much better. I take away your maintenance issue or whatever. You can revamp your business and open new revenue models. This is just on first-hand thoughts, but you can always think through, we can help you through that. And decision making, of course, we Indians always make decision making on feel, never do on data. It will continue in enterprise too. I am facing so many challenges when I'm trying to explain this, but the faster you get to a database decision making, the better improvement, cost structures, revenue structures, and customer structures will improve for you. Hope I am making sense to you guys, right? Thank you. Artificial intelligence. Now, what I'm all talking about are not high tech. They are just, I'm saying IT wants to make themselves very great and give some names, but it is pretty simple common sense. Artificial intelligence today, we are having so much of data, like everyone is carrying what 32 GB is insufficient in mobile. Now it is going to be 64 GB, you will have additional cards. Data is become, every day I have to delete so many WhatsApp messages and images so that I have to make space, right? So if it is just even consumer data, you can imagine business data, so many sensors generating data, so many legacy ERP, tooling, tally, humongous amount of data. And no more you can handle data, because humans have a limited way of operating. You can't make sense of data up to a particular extent. Beyond that, you can't see patterns, you cannot see the environment. So you need to have a kind of a framework and a tooling which enables you to have the data, AI intelligence to sort, find first, clear the data, find the patterns, and then give you those business insights. So if you have a repetitive task which is happening, it's an ideal candidate in your environment to really look at the data and make benefit, which also ties back to the data analytics which I mentioned earlier and to the current context. Improving customer service. So if you are reducing waste, if you are reducing process waste, if you are reducing deficiency waste, etc., I mean, you will be definitely, customer will appreciate a quality. If you improve your quality based on the decision making or the tooling, you will definitely you have an edge. So need to have your analytics in place. Enhancing decision making, I already mentioned. Developing new products and services. When you really look at a business insight, today you do not are aware what you can do as a new business. But moment artificial intelligence starts giving you insights, you will see opportunities. We can link the dots and create something new, which normally would not been seen. And that's what is most critical as of now. Because traditional is going to die. I mean, like extinction of species, extinction of industries is happening as of now. So if you don't migrate, you don't be agile, don't move, you have challenges. Enhancing supply chain management. In today's context, less said is like more, because looking at the chips environment, looking at the raw material environment, looking at the geopolitical tensions, even if you leverage or try to optimize, I can give a number of cases in the savings part where volumes are large. Like we are doing some case for Powerthon where we have 2,000 crores they are spending, and we are making 3% saving. We have around 300 crores saving for them. But if you look in your environments, you look at the volumes, a small improvement, etc., will lead to a big, huge savings in a supply chain management. So that's artificial intelligence. So primarily, where should you really look at? Those were the enablers which I was talking about. So where are the benefits for you? E-commerce. I mean, we are still not adopting e-commerce with both our hands, and they're still struggling. I mean, so many people have come, but SMEs need to really adopt e-commerce. We have this invoicing process. India is the #1 company for now UPI payments. Even the Bajiwala takes, I mean, not to say anything, that day a toilet guy took 2 rupees on this UPI, and I was like, what? So I think this can happen only here. And if you are not leveraging that environment, I mean, sorry to say, you are really missing out the big bang. Because this is going to be a short window for you to leverage that will close pretty fast. So you have to be agile. So you have to get your digital invoicing, digital payment systems integrated. And this is nothing new. It is the need of the hour. GST, etc. is forcing you things. Government is forcing you. E-rupee is coming in. So the faster you are into this, easier it is. Banks will give you funding also if you are onto those environments, because it's transparent. So credibility you don't have to prove. Digital marketing, you want to reach regions and geographies. I mean, you can globalize your market. So if you have a digital marketing environment placed in your listing, which is much easy, it's not going to be very difficult. It's trying to set up what exactly, which segment you want, how you want to present. There are so many tools. Startups are great learning grounds. How do you make those Instagram, Canva, etc. So many automation tools are there. Digital marketing is really easy. You just need to get some few right talents, or maybe even outsource those talents, because there are so many people available today on the web who can share that on a short fee for a short period of time. You don't even have to recruit a resource. It is available, you can do that. Automation, less said, I mean, automation definitely everybody has already spoken on that. I don't want to really leverage further onto it. Data analysis, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be a key environment for you to really look at. And digital finance, of course, now everything is digital. You'll get more promotion, more policies, more benefits, the more faster you adapt to digital financing. So where do we come into picture? Next. Okay. So what is that which is missing in SME? Is a digital literacy. When I say digital literacy means, I mean everybody knows the digital alphabets, artificial intelligence, big data, etc. But how do I apply and use it? Is the literacy what you need to? So how do I access and manage data? I mean, people are still struggling. Earlier, I remember when COVID happened, how to do a Zoom call, what is Google Meet. Now it's normal, right? So you need to start using collaboration tools, available tools, etc. to manage, produce your services, market them across using your e-commerce and tools, and drive customer relationship. These are the basic things in a nutshell what you need to say when you're saying digital literacy. If you literate your teams into these 4 parameters, I mean, you have done it. The fallout of this is a lot of privacy rules, acceptable usage policies, government compliances, which will come in. But once you start the journey, it will be it's like a fog of war. Once I reach there, the next stage will come. But make a beginning. Today, unfortunately, digital literacy is very, very poor for enterprises. So where do we come in as a SME Technology Development Council? The challenging task is we have to empower you SMEs with digital SME platforms, create the awareness, try to create interaction, education, training, setting up of incubation centers we can do. We can introduce you to a lot of CIOs and lead IT guys. We are planning to get a Vendex where we want to get the suppliers registered with us, because the suppliers are supplying to large enterprises versus to SMEs are a bit different kind of a breed. We would like to get them on, try to rate them and try to help you back, saying that, hey, this is the kind of environment which we have. We want to brand and support advanced technology in global markets. I mean, Salungi Saab is doing great stuff in Industry 4.0 and other such areas, and the list goes on. But I have given the challenging task, and I would request you to be in touch, register with us, and we'll get back to you with surveys and processes, how we can take this further. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you very much. So, keeping the ball rolling, I have one quick question to all the panelists. We are talking about the technology, we are talking about the Industry 4.0, AI, and all these things, blah, 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 blah. But where our industry is standing? Are they adopting this technology? Where are they lacking? And what will be your key suggestions to them? So, this will be a one by one. Quick answer and
so I think, as I mentioned also, that the digital literacy, to take the word from Avinash, and is different for different industrial sectors. And it is also different for different sizes of organizations. So in India, we have got really the latest technology users, and most of them might be startups. It may not be all the larger organizations, unfortunately, but because they are nimble. But also sector by sector, you will find that the first digital adopters were all the financial and the NBFCs. Unfortunately, manufacturing as a segment has been a little, let me say, laggard. However, I go back to the pandemic, it has shown that every single organization wants to leverage digital technology now. In fact, I was referring to some of the surveys and some of the studies that has happened, and regularly across board, across anybody who would have done the survey, everybody is saying 60, 70, 80% and more percentage of CXOs, owners, leadership teams in organizations, they are saying that it is time for us to adopt digital technology, because we see that the technology works, because we see that the technology is helpful. And the only other point that I mentioned on my presentation is technology and digitalization now is no longer expensive. There are expensive solutions, I'm not denying, but there are also cheap, easy to use, ready fixes, immediately available, off-the-shelf solutions available that can take care of your day-to-day problems immediately starting next week. I think that is my view and take on the entire digitalization.
Thanks. So what I feel is that this is no more a choice for any businesses to survive, right? Either you are forced to adopt it by your customer or you will become obsolete. Like we had some example, Kodak going out of business because they refused to adopt the technology. Like he rightly mentioned, the most important thing is you have to select a right technology for you. You don't want to overspend on it. You want to select a right partner for you. And with cloud being there, with the SaaS companies like us being there, you don't require very huge implementations. It's just plug and play, right? So the important thing is you select right technology for you, select a right partner, and select it early before your competition does it. Who makes you absolute in your business? So that would be my take on that.
Yeah, actually, all we know that means you can say as far as the government is concerned, data is the new oil of India. So all we can say just try to start to harnessing the data by using the technology, by using the adoption of the new technology. That's very important for us because ultimately all the startups or small medium entrepreneurs, if they would like to, that means to compete with the, you can say that means the global players, or that means to compete with, you can say that means to the new technology. They must have to acquire the new technology and just try to be familiar with the all the new technology like the artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, lot of new technology you can say changing the, you can say that means the pattern of the way of doing business. So definitely my suggestion definitely would be that means for small entrepreneurs, you must try to be, you can say, just too familiar with more and more technology. And if, because ultimately, yes, all you can say that means the other panelists has told to, we are forced to adopt a new technology. So definitely, yes, data is the new oil of India. We must try to use it for, you can say that means to get a meaningful information. That's it.
So digitalization journey is not easy. I mean, it's very good to sit here and prescribe, but I could only advise one thing: learn to be courageous, fail fast, fail small. I mean, it's very important because you will not get it right the first time. Today we have so many vendors, so many experts. Try to do small POC quickly within months or weeks rather, I would say. See how it performs, and then based on the results you can go and invest. And I would say not even invest. Today it's a kind of shared economy. Just take it as a service instead of trying to buy a product, and you will do it.
Thank you. In fact, as far as banking is concerned, I feel digitization and technology initiatives, major challenge for us is the literacy. How we are going to make people literate to adopt the technologies. So it is an initiative everybody should take together and make it a win-win situation. So I think that is all for me to add.
Just to my observation, maybe I'm wrong. It's not only literacy in digital. Literacy, even what are the policies and features which are available. I mean, SME Chamber is making so many efforts, but unfortunately people are not uptaking that knowledge. So much thing governments are doing, so many chamber things associations are doing, but there's a lack of knowledge. Even if it is available, we are not taking the effort to go and make us available. Like Madam, when they showed, I think this must be there for 2 years now. But how many of you are really getting and looking and trying to see how I can make a change? I mean, that's the part which is missing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Sukhvinder has to catch a flight, so floor is open for the question and answer. So first, I request all of you to have questions to the Sukhvinder, and then we can to the other panelists.
Well, actually, I have a question for Prasanjit. So, if you want, I can escape, or should I go ahead? Okay. All right. So, Prasanjit, one key takeaway that I had from your presentation, while everybody spoke about digitalization and how critical it is and how it is evolving and how it makes sense for the SME business, the last slide that you showed, where you said that digitalization can happen in 2 steps. There's a step 1 and the step 2. Step 2 is where the digitalization comes in. But step 1 is where, as an SME, you need to have the right structure, right processes in place. How do you see that as a challenge today when you look at SME and when you look at how you want to digitalize the SME business?
You see, unfortunately, the point is when organizations start small and then they start scaling up, the various processes, they scale separately. And that is where the silos occur. And also not necessarily, let us say, if you are a 10-member team and the process that you are following, It need not, it is never, in fact, I would say never the right process when you are a 100-member team or a 200-member team. So the question is, how do you align your business models? How do you morph your business models along with the journey of the growth of your business and your people? And in most of the cases that we have seen, and it is from my experience, is before even getting into automation, the first step I would say is business model or business process re-engineering. The BPR has to be the first step. Understand, maybe the result of the BPR is that you are 90% correct. That is also fine. That means there's only a 10%, but in most of the cases, there's a 30, 40, 50% change that is required in how, let us say, the pre-sales has to connect to sales, to engineering, to manufacturing, to supply chain, to quality. What are the documents that's getting generated? How do you seamlessly connect all this? This becomes an exercise by itself. Automation is the next step by putting in certain systems that I have now defined the processes. I know the people who are going to do it. I know the documentations that is going to get generated. How do I connect them? Once you have got that, then you start generating data. And then what we talk about digitalization is how do you infer that data? How do you create that digital insights? By connecting various areas of your ecosystem. That means you're talking about the customer, you're talking about the machine, you're talking about the ecosystem, you're talking about your supply deliveries, supply vendors, everybody coming together, each with their sets of data, and you are collecting. That is called big data. For that you need the cloud computing, and then you come and see that how do I optimize my process, or how do I use this data to create a new business channel. For example, I'm creating a product with Avinash again mentioned. My customers need not be interested in purchasing the product. Can I give it as a service? Maybe I am giving it as a service, but I am not able to generate the exact requirement of people and tools at the right time. How can I improve that? All these things comes from that data. So I think that is in a nutshell that I would say. Step 1, BPR. Step 2, automate. Step 3, generate data and create insights out of that.
Just to add to Prasenjit thing, most of the digital transformation, what I've seen, and a glaring thing is, it is understood it's IT department or one business section. It is not the case. It is across the enterprise, number one. And the most ignored aspect is the people. I mean, you are not changing your people. It's easy to change the technology, easy to change the process. It's not easy, but a bit difficult. But people, they are like still the same. They are, what is the age profile? I mean, older people, they still find difficult to use internet banking. Do you expect them to use your app and do the business? Because that's what will be required. I mean, that aspect you really need to tie in and bring it across. And that's a very critical part of it.
There's been a lot of talk just now of optimization, transformation, the need to do it. I fully agree. Now, I also with Mr. Avinash saying about the wastage. As a Lean Six Sigma black belt, I agree with that. It resonates with me. Now, what my question is, how can you convince or tackle the reluctance of the management to accept and change? I'm a business consultant, and I find this in the area which they are difficult to accept that they need to change. So I think this question would be more towards Mr. Sengupta. Thank you.
So if you are talking about the catalyst that requires to be changed, I think what I would say is, you need to understand your, on one side, I think on one side, the biggest thing is how is your customer requirement changing? And the other thing is that how is your business KPIs are changing or getting impacted? Because when I was mentioning that there are 3 or 4 triggers to digitalization, forget about the benefits. The triggers are that my world around is changing in terms of my, let us say, my costs are going up. My challenges to the external markets is going up, my competition is going up, the pressure is increasing to make my solution more unique. I think these are the areas which should drive the digital part and the digital quotient, also the requirement for you to digitalize. Rest of all the things will fall in place. You have to be, I think we also discussed, I mean, somebody talked about being a little bold, go out and do experiments, because you see, nobody, big or small, hits the nail on the head the first time. People fail. The question is how many times you are ready to fail and how quickly and how cheaply. And that is where all the centers of excellences, forget about presentations, can we come to a kind of a lab kind of an environment, test it out, see if it is working. What works for A may not work for B, so I need to find out what is exactly suiting my purpose and get on with it. There will be iterations that will be required, there will be training that will be required, there will be process changes that will be required, but once you start the journey, we as consultants help, but I think the real knowledge lies with the people, the team in the organizations. They also help us define that what should be the end state. And once we know the end state, I think going there step by step becomes a little more easy.
Just to address in a different form, see, respect the management because they have been into business and they have tremendous amount of knowledge. Primarily, they are not against us. You have to drop the hat of a CIO or IT head or a procurement. If you can prove him the business case, look, this is what you are doing X today. By expending so much, I can do 20X and the profit is going to be 10X. Any management in this world will fund you. Challenge is we are unable to articulate, document and show it, which is a challenge. And I can understand your perspective because security is the one where you're having a lot of loggerheads, which we say, because it is an opportunity loss which you have to demonstrate. So we are trying to invest and prepare to prevent the security challenges. But unfortunately, when positive funds, so many things challenging your attention, it's a last topic which they have in mind. Unless you show that downtime of this will be, say, 1 month's production loss or a export loss, then it starts making sense. So you need to build that up.
But it has become a little bit easier. Again, I will take the example of pandemic here, because that actually showed people that there was a business loss because the technology was not available. When people went back to their homes, when the systems were not there, there were manual processes and you could not really work remotely, there was a sizable business loss. And I think that has opened up everybody's ears, management and employees, that the new way has to be adopted. I think it's become a little bit easier convincing people in the last 2 years, at least from my experience I've seen that.
My question to SBI, when you have made LC application online, then for submission of shipping bill of entry, and also to submit the import remittances, we have to go physically to the bank. When you can make this online, please.
See, import LC is made online, export is made online. So now about your question, that is shipping bill and bill of entry submission. Shipping bill, even if you don't submit it, you can give us the numbers, we can download it from the site. Okay, so now coming to bill of entry. Bill of entry, wherever it is original import documents have to come to the branch. Okay, but if it is an advance payment case and you have already advance payment 100% is made, and you have to only submit proof of bill of entry and invoices, it is digitally enabled to upload these documents. So, yeah. So first of all, whether you are onboarded, sir, in YONO. So now are you using it for LCs? Import LCs? Okay, then if you find any difficulty, please get in touch with us, we will guide you. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir. We will give all support. Please, I will get in touch with you also. I have your number. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. My name is Adil. I want to pose a question to Mr. Ashok sir, STPI. Okay. You talked here. Yeah. You talked about patents. So when we talk about Government of India, they don't allow software patents, and they allow only specifically for hardware patents. And when it comes to software, they tell that the software should be integrated with hardware, something like that is there, then they can do the patent. So this, I mean, as a Ministry of Information Technology, you should force them to come up with something like this where the softwares can be patented directly. And of course, it can boom the software industry of India. Yeah.
Surely, you guys, that means okay, we will look into this matter. So definitely you can say, as far as you can say that means patent is concerned. Yes. So ultimately you can say hardware technology generally you can say that means is generally getting patent. Okay. So that means suppose you can say if you having any kind of software, if you would like to can say improve your software through by using you can say different kind of technology, and if you find it, so you can say that means uniqueness is there, and in that scenario definitely you can file a patent. Ministry of E&IT, you can say providing a lot of, you can say that means what, incentives, and that means you can say giving them, you can say up to the 15 lakhs for you can say filing and patent. Okay. So there you can say one division of, you can say Ministry of E&IT is there. So if you are facing any kind of problem, that means to, you can say that means to understand how to file, you can say patent. So you must reach to STPI. Definitely we will guide you how to file and patent.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again for the STPI. So like we are developing smart wearable glasses, which are the futuristic product. The hardwares, we are more relied on the outside partners, and the softwares we are taking care of it. Now, you mentioned about those 12 centers. So are you restricting these labs only to these 12 centers? Because we are from Mumbai, let's say. So if we want to explore this, what are the provisions? And number two, in terms of the patent that he mentioned rightly. So actually it's a hardware is coming, we are sourcing from outside, and software is taken care by us. So how can you assist us in that aspect? And last not the least, you mentioned about these export zones. So are these only meant for like seeps only to export, or we can also parallelly do the indigenous work? So if you can throw light on all this, please.
So definitely you can say first answer for that your question. That means you can say that means there's two kind of schemes of the government of India. One is called the special economic zone, because like SIPS is there, and one is called the STPS scheme. Because ultimately, suppose any IT company, if would like to start or set up their shops, so they can set up their shops inside the STP IT park, or they can, you can say, set up their shops outside the STP IT park. In both the scenario, they will be entitled for, you can say, that benefits as is listed in the under the STPS scheme. As far as SEZ is concerned, definitely SEZ you can say taken care by the Ministry of Commerce only. So especially under the SEZ, suppose the IT exporter, the IT company, or any you can say sectors are interested to do any export activities, they have to set up their, you can say, shop inside the SEZ premises only. So there's a lot of flexibility, you can say, with the STPI schemes. So that's why maximum company opts for the STPI schemes, because a lot of, you can say, flexibility with STPI's schemes there. Second question is about the Center of Excellence. The Center of Excellence, you can say, has been set up only, that means keeping in view of that to promote to innovation and startups. Our advanced lab has been set up in each and every Center of Excellence, so that the startups can test their ideas, can test their, you can say, that means what? The products that is in the prototyping stage. If you would like to, that means to test your prototyping stage, so we have a multiple tools are there. Suppose I am giving you an example of, you can say, that means the one advanced labs of the SPST, Software Product Testing Facility, that has been set up in the Bangalore, IoT. So where you can test your software products, you can test your, can say, all the things. So another thing about that is the patent, because a patent definitely you can say ultimately want to commercialize your, you can say, products, and definitely patents is required, because ultimately we are supporting for the patent. So Center of Excellence, whatever has been set up by the STPI, is only we are providing the, you can say that means the 2 and 3 supports. The one is called the soft support. Soft supports you can say in the form of mentorship, training, hand holding, and then in the, you can say physical things are, you can say that you are will get the plug and play physical space there. If you can say any startup is get selected through, you can say our process, you will get a chance. That means you can say in any of the center.
Like we are from Mumbai, so any person can be a part of that Bhubaneswar even from Mumbai. That's what I'm
Yes. That means you can say it is all center of interconnected center. All are interconnected with each other. Okay, suppose you can say if you are interested to, you can become a virtual incubator. If you would like to interested, you can become a virtual incubator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries and everybody present here for your patient listening. Now, may I request Mr. S. Mahesh Kumar, who is the Director, SME Chamber of India, to felicitate all our dignitaries. First, I would request my sir to felicitate Shri Prosenjit Sen Gupta, Partner Consulting Ernst and Young LLP. Mrs. Geeta Rao, AGM, State Bank of India. A big round of applause, please. Shri Ashok Kumar Yadav, Director Software Technology Parks of India STPI. And Shri Avinash Vilhal. A big round of applause for all the speakers present here.
Thank you very much. Rather in technological discussion, madam, you are playing the important role. Without your money, they can't go for a technology. So we should give a big hand to the SBI for providing financial support for the SME sector. Friends, I think now all of you must be hungry, so I'll not take much time, but I would like to say that SME should come ahead with some ideas, some expectations, and somehow you should think about taking advantage of the various support services. If you look at the various websites of the government agencies, government departments, corporations, PSUs, even banks also, even technology developed companies also, there are plenty of things are coming up for SME sector. So now the atmosphere in India for SME sector is very positive. Forget about the corona has gone now, but atmosphere is very positive for SME sector. And technological development happened only because of the pandemic. So SME should become a competitive. SME should, utilize the all advanced technology, unique ideas, unique concept to become a global competitiveness. Then only we can, achieve the target. Then we can achieve the goal which is defined by our Prime Minister. So with this word, thankful to SBI, Bank of India, Yes Bank, and all of you, and just the special speakers from the various field. Sen Gupta sir, special thanks to you for sharing your knowledge. And rather, we have decided to give more and more hand-holding to SME sector by utilizing the various technological ideas, software, we can say smart business solutions, and Mr. Kulkarni, you are going to play important role in that. So with this word, I'm thankful to all of you. Now let's join for a lunch, a networking lunch, and after that, those who wants to be here, they can give information about their business activity. So this is for interaction amongst the delegates. So take advantage. Thank you very much.